Hey guys, welcome to OPTCG. Today we have a short little video about EB02 Arlong that actually got some pretty good support in the form of 3 new cards that we're going to go over with. Arlong is very quick, very fast, and has been in the past a very tricky leader to deal with if you don't know how to play him. But I recorded 2 games that I think showcase very well what he can do, and even without his on-play abilities, how strong he is in terms of board presence and just being aggressive. And so we're just gonna go over these 2 games. She's gonna be
excited to see him for the first time.
exactly blind reacting.
Yeah, see how it got a bit of a new update in EB2, because Arlong always seemed one of those leaders that had a lot of potential, but was just kind of missing those like essential cards that really made the deck work. So
exactly,
see the new strength.
Exactly, and now I think it has a lot of the new synergy. And just yesterday, we actually saw some new leaks of OP11 where he gets even more support.
Really good cards,
so great news for Arlong players. And so let's just go over it and just jump into these games. So yeah, so first game against Blackbeard, really interesting because if he doesn't use his black hole in the beginning, I can kind of take advantage of that, and so that's what I do.
But even though you still have 1 attacking, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, but
depending on the cards,
the new effects are on play, and that's kind of what I want to see. For example, the Buggy that gives double attack. So from the get-go, I'm putting a lot of pressure straight away, just trying to take either cards from hand or just have him take a lot of life. Unlucky with the trigger there.
Yep. Immediately died. But
exactly, but still
he's got some utility, got the double attack. So.
I mean, it's kind of a bad situation for me, but at this point, exactly, it doesn't really matter. And so now he plays 2 Laffites, which I definitely want to remove. And I think it would be the perfect time to showcase the new Arlong card that allows me to give a rested leader and have a character not rest until the end of next turn. So for example, for Blackbeard, but he black holes because he knows how hard it is. So I just play out the Arlong. But that Hody, the new Hody 3-cost card, very strong, comes in very handy, especially since for rested and active characters, you can't either
rest it, so can't attack or can't use the activate main rest. So
exactly.
Really good against Blackbeard, especially because you're just stopping that effect.
And it gives you a rested Dawn,
yeah, so good.
It's basically 2 costs.
Oh, so he did black hole.
He did black hole, so exactly.
Crazy.
Give out a Dawn, no rest for the Lafitte, and then I just go 7/8.
Yeah,
7 into life.
Perfect. And you can still do leader effects, so
exactly.
Even more pressure on
and
board.
Play out the new Jinbei 2K, which is a very good body. For me, it's better than the Frankie since it's a fishman, and you can basically play it out. It's a trigger as well.
So he just got rid of 2 bodies.
That's fine. Honestly, that's fine.
Putting it up. It's kind of Lofi vibes, so you can just keep filling up the board, except you're playing from hand and not from deck, which is the disadvantage.
Less strong, but at least it has a lot of synergy with yellow with the trigger side of it.
Of course.
So you could also run basically a whole fake, a whole trigger deck if you wanted to. But honestly, with the new cards, it's just super strong. So I play out the Sanji.
Yeah, I think this is good play. Just attacking really strong, being like, okay, putting him.
And there we go. Turn 5, already 0 life.
Well, he kind of has to play Teach now, or something, because
I think he will.
I'm guessing, of course.
And then go 5 into that. I protect it because it's really strong.
And can't attack again, so it's safe.
Yeah, I remember here I made a blunder right after. Instead of using the Arlong effect to play out the Jinbei, I actually just play out the Jinbei. So yeah, I just played out the Jinbei right now instead of using it from leader effect, which is
Yeah, that would have been more practical to do that with your effect, but you know.
Could have had more Dawn for him to KO, because at this point, yeah, he's going to block.
Yeah. think he's kind of hoping that you'll do a 7K instead of an 8K.
Yeah,
but
I could have had way more than just 8K for him to defend. But it doesn't matter. At this point, I still have 4 lives.
You're good. Like, I think that was kind of the choice to do. Because now, he's kind of almost forced to play Teaches every turn, which is not bad, but yeah.
And something that's very strong about Arlong leader effect is that it plays characters active instead of like Lofi where it's rested and you can attack into it. And so it's just a lot of presence and it's really hard to deal with.
Yeah, now if he wants to attack into your other body, he has to waste a Teach blocker, which is not really
and he just drafts the Teach. But it's kind of over here. Now it's just a matter of dividing Dawn. And I think I just go 8, 8, 8. And see if it has enough counter. 8, 8. And then 8. Don't even need to play out whatever.
Yeah.
And he had exactly
the exactly 8. Right, so 8 was the magic number there for sure.
There we go. And so this game was, I think, super quick, but really easy to showcase how aggressive.
Especially against Blackbeard, you're just kind of using that Dofi-esque leader effect.
Where you just attack,
swarming, and it's like, okay, got really good use out of the Buggy at the beginning. I think definitely one of the strongest plays is being able to play that on first turn, like going first, 3 Dawn, playing out 7K
100%
with double attack is really, really good. And
if you don't Black Hole, well...
Yeah, he got lucky with being able to KO that off a trigger, but
still
would have been very useful. But
still super strong.
Still got its utility. So definitely fun cards, fun new supports.
100%. So this game I go against Green Purple Luffy, which last video, one of the last videos we made was Green Purple Luffy deck showcase, and we saw how strong it was. And so this game, I think, is just a battle of aggro, who can finish first.
The board first.
And Green Purple Luffy can do a lot of that, and it is a pretty strong deck for that. But honestly, with Arlong, you want to take your life, since most of it you're just playing out triggers.
Also trigger, so.
Exactly. So
that would have been a nice trigger to have something interesting on board, but getting the banish is still,
Exactly, and playing out the Nami with the leader effect means that if he takes, it's just a trash from his life, which that's kind of what you want to see.
It only costs you 1 Dawn instead of 2. So,
exactly.
Always good benefit there. But yeah, he's just playing, again, sort of the classic Luffy cards.
Classic Luffy cards, kind of ramp. I don't know whether you like Zoro in this deck, but it's up to you. Of course, I'm going to counter that.
Yeah, just for 5K as well.
And now we can basically showcase the new Arlong card again and how strong that is in every deck. So I just go 4K into Zoro for him to counter, because I want literally cards out of hand. I was not expecting to win with that. But for example, for 5 Dawn, so
amazing. Can't rest
the Zoro, and then I do leader effect and play it out in Arlong, trash a card,
trash the stage, of course,
and then he can't attack. So now
can't really do anything.
His board is just frozen, and he did save. He did save, but even then, it's like, fine. Just
wants to ramp, but
exactly.
That's the only attack that he's gonna get, so it's not gonna do that much damage.
And I still have control of the board. And at this point, he can't attack with leader, so even if he does leader effect, he can't really get the value out of it. He can't attack with Nami, but that's just going to cost more Dawn. And Juro is the only one that can actually do something about it.
He's just going to get rid of it. And obviously, you're going to let that die, I'm guessing.
Probably. Yeah.
No point in keeping an Nami alive.
And he plays out the Zoro. So at this point, you're super precarious. I'm on the clock. I want to go for face, so I just search out either a 2K. I think I search out 2 2Ks because I literally just want that protection at this point, because he doesn't have a lot of cards in hand.
At least you have 3 lives, so you have a little bit of a buffer, plus triggers, so you might get a good trigger out. It's not completely dire. It's just when you're playing those small aggro decks, when you put a big body on board, that you're kind of racing against the clock. Still going for board, so
just trying to trash out cards in hand and less
no Dawn
attackers
open as well, so no Gum Giants, so that's pretty good.
So I just go for 7, and then I just go for 8. Next turn, precarious. If he doesn't go for life, that's kind of what I want. It's for him to go to life, because I do have triggers. I do have stuff that can trigger out, and at this point I have 8k, so I just let him take. I want to bait him into going exactly. So basically, you counter out.
Yeah, of course, there you counter out. I mean, could he still go for game? So you have.
He could go for game at this point.
2Ks though.
I have 3 2Ks.
So it would be tough. I mean, maybe if you leader effects and then get some.
Then I protect that one.
That was.
And now, at this point, in my mind, I was being like, okay, well, either he goes 5k and 8k. Luffy rush he could if he had that, rush, yeah. But at this point,
I think that would be the only solution for him.
Yeah,
would have to be that Luffy rush. He doesn't know. I mean, theoretically, you could have enough, but he doesn't know that you have that brick. But
there we go. And I had a KO if I needed to, but he didn't have anything in hand.
Rush. Yeah, no. So he had no options there.
But then we see the next turn I would have won. It's just the battle of aggro, as we saw, and Arlong in this one won, and it kind of shows how fast it is. Like we're still, like I was still not a 10 Dawn, and we won. Again, I think it was. The 9 Dawn turn.
You don't hit 10 Dawn.
I don't hit. Yeah, you
either win early on or you don't win at all.
Exactly. You just go. Okay, so for the last match, I ended up against a Boa, which has a lot of removal. Is pretty slow, but it has a lot of good defense. And I thought this was also a very good showcase of the new cards, because Boa also has access to like the 7 Warlords and so Jinbei, stuff like that. So it is. My deck was kind of built around it, and this game,
just the Krieg for that specifically, yeah.
100%. I play 1 Krieg since it is East Blue. You can switch it up with the Nami, which is also a trigger that you can play out with Arlong effect. I just run 1 of them, basically for Lofi.
Because there's the on play of being able to KO 2 costs. Exactly. 2 4 costs. So.
And it gives good double attack, which is also good for aggro.
And literally perfect for Dofi and Boa, because Boa also most likely always runs the 7 Warlords package.
So at the beginning, if you have Buggy,
double attack.
Every game we've always played Buggy first turn because it's super strong.
I think it's just the first turn play.
It is. Yeah,
it's just good. You're either forcing 2 cards out of hand, or they're going to take 2 cards. So,
Great card. Great card. Great support for Arlong and Kuro, which also East Blue also has the ability to restand your leader.
Good trigger Nami there.
Exactly. Just talked about that. And we searched up the new Hody, which is also
very
super
useful.
Strong. I mean, honestly, the deck before was really good, but it was just kind of random. You just played out the best triggers. Yeah. And now you could really just play out the best triggers for Arlong, which I really like.
Yeah, it feels more specific rather than just like random, like you said, like random leader / characters.
Exactly.
So it's nice to actually have something made for Arlong.
There we go. So he bounces back.
And no rest for for Law, so pretty good as well.
Super strong. And then I play out attacking. A little I really like the Mihawk. What's it called? The S-Snake? No, not S-Snake. I forgot his name. But the 4 cost that I just played out with leader effect, he can't be KO'd by slash effects, which I think is really strong, and gains plus 2,000 power whenever your life is lower than your opponent's. And so it's basically for 1 Dawn on him. It's basically an AK.
Not bad,
And during your opponent's turn, if you do have less life than him and they go for it, it still has a
so
I think it's pretty useful. And you can play it out for life as well.
Yeah, so
if you bounce it, which is really good.
No, that's a good trigger. Good, just basic cards. I mean, obviously you still need some basic cards with Arlong because there's not enough like specific Fishman or Breeze Blue or whatever cards for.
Well, now you do, but still.
No, but still, you kind of need to pad out the deck with just like basic good triggers and 4 cost cards, because you still need to like fully utilize the leader effect, which not every one of these cards does.
Right,
but,
exactly.
I mean, Basil Hawkins as well, I think is a really good addition. Good 4 cost.
Yeah. So, I mean, Kikunojo is also pretty good, but Basil does has the counter, which I really like. And at this point, I don't really care about healing with Arlong.
Yeah, you kind of trash opponent more.
I prefer the aggro approach.
I kind of think you're right. It might be better. I think it's more versatile for an Arlong deck to have Basil Hawkins versus a Kikunojo.
Exactly. So at this point, I'm attacking with S-Hawk. That's his name, S-Hawk. I'm attacking with S-Hawk first because, like I said, AK at this point.
We'll stop having AK.
Exactly. Yeah. Then I just want to trash his cards out of hand because next I want him to attack with both laws. And my goal is to him to attack both laws into my characters. And then I play out Krieg.
And then Krieg, yeah.
That's
be devastating.
Exactly. Even since I only play one of in the deck, I kind of want to use it.
Especially if you're playing against a Bo or Lofi instead.
Exactly.
You know, you want to play that Krieg.
Little Arlong, trash out the Noah. And then I forgot to do it. So
oh no.
Blunder. And
you literally.
And he had a gravity blade.
Wow, that Arlong just useless.
Super useless.
Forgot to click on the leader.
Trashed the card.
So you trashed a card and then the card just died.
Yeah, super annoyed at this point. But you know, it happens, especially when you're playing
misclicks.
Exactly. Like this was literally my first game, I think, that I actually made with this list. And so I was just super confused. I was like, why can she attack? But I mean, it's fine at this point. Like I said,
waiting on that Krieg.
Yeah, so if I had less life, he couldn't have had KO'd it, but I don't care because at this point I do want him to attack again into life, and I'll protect.
Yeah, protect that.
Exactly. Now it's just the perfect
Krieg. Perfect
play for Krieg. Look at me just hovering over. And the good thing about the Buggy, the thing that makes Buggy not that overpowered is the fact that if I already have a Buggy on board, he can't do effect.
Yeah, but also I feel like that's a good thing because otherwise you could just spam Buggies, and that would be kind of dangerous. But it's also a good threat because that way your opponent knows, oh, if I get rid of this character, then another Buggy might come down. Although at this point, Buggy's useless because only one life left. But still.
At this point, I just go to 6K.
Saying, oh, you think you'll still have cards, but no.
I still wanted to do leader effect.
Well, yeah,
so I trash out the Buggy since it is a brick. Then
go banish and force the
Probably no.
Okay,
just going for the cards in the end.
Yeah, to be fair, you don't want to get rid of your cards as well because no, I kind of agree.
Because now it's either he takes or he's just in a really shitty situation. So yeah.
2 cards.
Lucky that he had the triggers. Even with all the triggers, there's just so much pressure.
Even then, it's like you can't really do much at this point. Like, what can you play here? You have no life. Sure, you could just block her up and hope that, you don't have a lot of blockers.
But, you bottom deck my Krieg, which was a good play, and then I think you go Tsunami,
no.
And you hope that...
No, true.
And now the card that I want to see is the Noah's Ark that rests all of your opponents.
Yeah, because otherwise you were kind of...
I'm not in a bad spot. Like, I could have gotten 9K and then played... I was just... gonna delay
and you would have it would have been kind of delayed because he only has 2 cards. So
like I said, I went to look for my trash because I knew I had 2 of them in the deck. So I was like, I really need my second one, and I hope I have it in life.
In
life, or either in life.
The triggers do the main effect.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
And then there we go. The top deck. 2 rests.
Goodbye.
And then 9K.
That's exactly what you need. But he had bricks anyway.
He only had bricks.
That is a beautiful play. Top decking.
100%.
And Noah's Ark.
And even then, like I said, the next card would have been a Jinbei, which would have been really good.
Yeah. So either way,
just delaying.
They would because either way they would have attacked into you. You would have triggered it out. You would have won anyways.
Exactly.
So
it really showcases how good it was.
And surprisingly, that bow match was the only one where you actually reached 10 done.
Yeah. So, there we go. So now I'll go over a little bit more in depth of the cards that actually make the support really good and what I really like about this deck in general. So the first card, of course, that we saw multiple, and I think every game, was the Hody 3 cost that prevented a character cost 5 or less to rest himself.
So good. So versatile.
Like we saw
so much
with
better
the
than
Lafitte.
Just can't attack or whatever.
Exactly.
Like, so much better, yeah.
So good because the Lafitte couldn't rest because you're not attacking with Lafitte.
No, yeah, just can't rest.
Effect. And with any other character that you just played, can't attack. And 5 costs or less stat
Yeah.
line, really good, and gives you an Arrested Dawn. And it's a 1k counter. And it's an East Blue.
Staple.
And it's a Fishman.
And need to play with this
100%.
new Arlong deck. Like, essential.
Super strong and great support, honestly.
100%.
It really went nuts on that one. The second one is the Buggy.
Also kind of
Great
essential at this
support.
point. Like,
it is I feel like now Arlong is as aggressive as Yamato, because with Buggy
no,
it basically
100%.
double attack. It's literally what this deck needed, in my opinion.
Just even more pressure, especially in the early game.
Exactly.
So it's like, even if, you know, your opponent's getting rid of bodies, it's like, okay, no worries, every turn.
Exactly. And even though I only play 3 in the deck in this list, this is a list I made, by the way. I didn't really take its inspiration from anything else. I just thought this had good synergy, and I did play 3 Arlongs. The other one, 4 cost Arlong. Maybe I would tone it down, play less of that Arlong and put more Buggies, because the Buggy is super essential.
Yeah, but then the Buggy, if it stays on board, loses all utility. Versus Arlong, you know, even if it's on board, you can still use it, still always get that value of like having the on-play leader can attack.
Very true, but I still think that just to give him more consistency, because I would want to see the Buggy, and it has a good trigger, while the Arlong, it is a good trigger, but that's just some changes I might have done to the deck. The other card, the third card that is also super good in the deck is the Jinbei 2K, 4 costs, 5,000 power, and you can play it out if you have 2 or less life, if you're a Fishman character, which Arlong is, and honestly,
you'll be reaching 2 life pretty quickly, usually. So
yeah, and that's something that Arlong always struggled with, in my opinion, was the 2Ks. As you can see from the deck, I play out 12 2Ks, because I think that's kind of what you want to be with every deck. And before, it was the Hachan, which made sense. Eastman, Blue can play it out, 2K, but it is a kind of weaker stat line with 4,000 power and 4 cost. But the Jinbei, you can play it out. It's a good body and has a good trigger, and it's actually a useful attacker. Exactly. So super good support. And some other cards that I've released in OP9, OP10 and OP9 that I really like was the Basil Hawkins. Really good, like I said, 1k counter, really good trigger, draw 2, trash 1, a really good body, on KO, trash a life. It's just an all-rounder, really good. Yeah, I think Basil Hawkins now is going to be kind of in every yellow deck. I think makes sense, other than, you know, certain specialty decks, but I think just basic yellow decks, like, it's just, I think it fits in every yellow deck. Yeah, you can definitely find place for it in every yellow deck. I don't know if you'd run 4 in every deck, but you can definitely find its place. I think it's just an alternative to Kunojo that really works if you just need that extra 1k counter, or if you're not really caring that much about healing yourself and more about, you know, punishing 100%. Your opponent. So 100%. And then the other card in OP9 that is super strong as well for this deck, in my opinion, is the Dureshi, that can search up any trigger in the deck. And there's a lot of good triggers in this deck. And with now with the Jinbei now, you can actually search up the Jinbei as well with Dureshi, which before you can only search up Hachan as a 2K. I also play Frankie, also very good 2K. Trigger 2K. And there's also the new Zoro promo. I mean, it came out in OP7, but it has been kind of hard to get. But now with the championship, you can still play it out. And it's also a good body to play out. Has kind of the same effect as Onami, where you can KO a 4 cost or less. Now I kind of want to talk about the cards that you could also put in, and I think would be really fun to play as. So, like, for me, I mostly went for the route of East Blue / Trigger. I think it works really well, especially that Nami searcher. Exactly. I also play out, like I said, the Noah's Ark came in clutch a lot of times. The Hody Jones. I also play as the biggest body on board, but it is very strong. Hody Jones is just so good, 100%. Especially late game when you want to win. You need to rest those Dawn or those characters. I mean, yeah, I think if you're playing green, Hody just
makes sense in most
Yeah.
decks.
So a lot of good synergy, but here are the other cards that I think could be really useful to put as well in the deck. So first of all is the Dracul Mihawk 2K. That is really good. Not searchable, but you can play out Nojo, Basil Hawkins. You can play out Arlong. You can play out Buggy now.
Yeah.
You could play out any slash characters.
I mean, you're playing mainly slashes,
yeah.
so
that would be
makes a
very
lot
good
of
synergy.
sense actually. So if you just want to, even more bodies out, so really overwhelm the board. I think that it could definitely work.
I would switch it out for Frankie, if I could. I think, in my opinion. And then with the slash characters being mainly in the deck, Rika is actually a pretty good 2K, and you can reactivate a 4 cost or less, which you do have more in your deck. Also East Blue that you can search up, so that is also something to keep in mind. The other card is the final card that I think could also work here, but I think works better into Kuro, is Django. And on play, you could either set up one of your East Blue leaders or character cards as active. So for Arlong, it's not once per turn the effect. So basically, you could attack twice, which is good.
That'd be pretty good.
But it is a brick. It is 5 costs,
You can't
and Exactly, and I'm not a big fan of that, honestly. I think it works better with Kuro.
And it's a brick, so
exactly.
Brick, 5 costs, it's not made for Arlong.
There's already a lot of bricks.
And you want them to be 4 costs so you can actually
but if you want, but if you want to try it out, I would still try it out.
Maybe, I mean, you can maybe make a build around it.
Exactly. So yeah, guys, that was the Arlong video. I hope you guys liked the deck and hope you guys give it a try. EB2 is looking promising for a lot of leaders, but I think Arlong especially has gotten very good support.
Yeah, let us know what other leaders we should try next, and don't forget to subscribe and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
And see you guys next time.